here. But that, where the two optic nerves cross, that's the optic chiasma. And again, I lean against that. I don't think we're going to test it. I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to show you everything we're going to test. Please now, if you can't see it, come on, you stand up where you get a little better view. Same thing. Is that Ashley? Stand up where you can see a little better. And can you see it where you stand? Pin right here, automatic test question. Name the part of the brain, cerebrum. That's what you think with. C-E-R-E-B-R-U-M, cerebrum. Automatic test question. Pin right here. Name the structure, cerebellum. That's the part of the brain that. See, this is 7/8 of the brain right here, the cerebrum, and in the back here, this is the cerebellum, and that's for motor coordination. C-E-R-E-B-E-L-L-U-M. Cerebrum, cerebellum. Now, I'm going to go to I never liked these terms, but we call the top of the brain the dorsal aspect, or dorsum, which means back. And we call the bottom of the brain the ventral aspect. I don't know why they would call that ventral. I guess if you lift your head back like this, it is ventral. So let's look at the ventral aspect of the brain. I might have tested these, but I don't think so. Name those structures right there. Olfactory bulbs. The first pair of cranial nerves deal with smell, are called the olfactory cranial nerves. There they are right there, and they end in these two little bulbs. If I pin that, and I'll tell you before the test if it's a test question, but I don't think it is, olfactory bulb. Now, the optic chiasma would have been right here. I pulled that off. It used to be right there. You can see that. That's the other way. We can see the optic chiasma right there where the two optic nerves cross. The reason I know is the other way. That's called the mammillary body. And I might have tested that, but let's go here first. I'm definitely testing this. I'm going to put a pin back here, right here, name the structure. From here back, spinal cord. You know, in you and I, it goes up like this. In the sheep, it goes straight back. Spinal cord. Now, can you see how from here to here it gets a little fatter? See that? I'm going to put a pin right in there and say, name that structure. Medulla oblongata. Simple English, what is that? Brainstem. That's what medulla oblongata means. Brainstem. M-E-D-U-L-L-A, oblongata, O-B-L-O-N-G-A-T-A. Can you see it, ma'am, where you stand? Is there anybody knocked out? Can you see it? Y'all good on it? Can you see it? All right, so going from back to front, all test questions. Name the structure, spinal cord. Name the structure, medulla oblongata. Little round area on either side right here. Next thing forward. Name the structure. I believe I'll probably just call it pons on the test, P-O-N-S. Technically it's called a pons varoli. Pons, second word, V-A-R-O-L-I. I don't believe I use that word on the test, just pons. And pons in Latin means bridge. The pons is a bridge between the medulla oblongata or brainstem and the brain itself. So backwards to front. Name the structure, spinal cord. Name the next structure, medulla oblongata. Name the next structure, pons. Now, if you look very carefully right in front of the pons, these two little round things, right here there's a little stalk, and right here there's a little stalk, like Jack and the Beans stalk. The stalk is called the cerebral, and this is going to be testable, cerebral peduncle. C-E-R-E-B-R-A-L, peduncle. P-E-D, and then like uncle, U-N-C-L-E. P-E-D-U-N-C-L-E, cerebral peduncle. Now, at this point, we got spinal cord 1, medulla oblongata 2, pons 3, cerebral peduncle 4, optic chiasma 5, cerebrum 6, cerebellum 7. At this point, I'm going to make a mid-sagittal cut straight through. That big fissure right there is called the anterior longitudinal fissure. Now look at this for just a minute. This is not a test question, just look at it. See all these things on the surface of the brain? These little grooves. Those are called sulci, singular sulcus. I'm not testing them. When Albert Einstein died, he donated his brain to science, and a lot of people were curious to see if his brain was bigger, because he was probably the greatest physicist who ever lived. You know the British guy, Dr. Hawking? Yep. He's in that wheelchair, he's badly crippled. They once asked Dr. Hawking, how would you compare yourself to Dr. Einstein? He said, I'm not in that class, and he has it right. Einstein was the top guy of all time. I hope I don't repeat myself, I'm getting old. Adolf Hitler offered Einstein a building and put you in charge of physics for the war project. And Einstein was Jewish and Hitler hated Jews, but he realized what he had there, really a genius. Well, anyway, when Einstein passed on, his brain was the same size as yours and mine, but there were a lot more fissures and sulci, greater surface area. So, theoretical genius. Now, with this thing dissected, of course, all this is cerebrum. If I tagged right here and said name the part of the brain, it would be the same as if I tagged up here, cerebrum. And if I tag in here, name that, can you see it? Name that part of the brain. Sure, cerebellum here, cerebrum here, cerebellum here, cerebrum here. Now let's look at a couple of things internally, and they are on the test. See this thing? It looks like a little tree inside the cerebellum with branches. I'm going to test that. I'm going to say name this structure here, and I'll put do not write cerebellum. So that only leaves a tree. It's called the arbor vitae. That means tree of life. Arbor is tree in Latin. Vitae is life. So name this. Looks like a little white tree here. Arbor vitae. Is it marked in there? No. You best mark it down. What page is that, ma'am? 201. 147. So that's the arbor, A-R-B-O-R, vitae. Now, a little more difficult here to see the detail. I would like you to look, I'll go on this side, it's a little better. I would like you to look right here. There's a little slit. There's a little slit right here. See the slit, the opening? You know, we're going to learn that the human heart has 4 chambers. The top 2 chambers are called atria, singular atrium, and the bottom 2 chambers are called ventricles. You also have ventricles in the brain. There are 4 ventricles in the brain. That's one of them. Now, at the base of the brain, there's a capillary network called the choroid plexuses, and they secrete, you might have heard of it, it's called cerebrospinal fluid. And the cerebrospinal fluid circulates through the 4 ventricles of the brain and then down through that little hole that I've erased out now called the central canal in the crossbar of the H, the great commissure. So that's a ventricle of the brain not testable. But I'm going to test the little tan band right above it and the little tan band right below the opening. The tan band right above the opening, right here, there's going to be a pin. Name the structure. Can you all see it? Just the little tan band right above the opening. Corpus callosum. C-O-R-P-U-S, right here. C-O-R-P-U-S, callosum. I believe C-A-L-L-O, I think 2 S's, U-M. Corpus callosum. And then I'm going to test the band below, fornix, F-O-R-N-I-X, fornix. So, for what it's worth, in the brain, the gray matter, what you think with, is on the outside, that's the cerebrum, and the white matter, which is the corpus callosum, that's the white matter, that's on the inside. The corpus callosum is a series of fibers running transversely, white matter, that hold the 2 cerebral hemispheres together through this big longitudinal fissure. In the spinal cord, you have a reverse of that. The gray matter is on the inside. Remember that drawing I made? In the shape of the letter H, and the white matter is on the outside. So, name the structure, just this band, corpus callosum, right above the slit, the opening. Little tan band above it, corpus callosum, little tan below it, fornix. So I think we're good here for arborvitae is 1, corpus callosum 2, fornix is 3, cerebrum is 4, cerebellum is 5, spinal cord 6, medulla oblongata 7, pons 8, cerebral peduncle 9, possibly optic chiasm is 10, olfactory bulb is 11. At least 8 of those are on the real test. Now I'll go to the